Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and thank you for joining me today on the Sticks Radio Show. My guest today is Bernie Shaw. He's lead singer of Uriah Heep. We'll be talking about Uriah Heep, playing some of their music today. Let's start the show off with one of their big hits. This is Lady in Black, and we'll talk to Bernie.
She came to me one morning, one lonely Sunday morning, her long hair flowing in the midwinter wind. I know not how she found me, for in darkness I was walking, and destruction lay around me from a fight I could not win. She asked me name my clothing. I said the need within some men to fight and kill their brothers without thought of love or God. And I begged her give me horses to trample down my enemies. So eager was my passion to devour this waste of life. But she would not think of battle that reduces men to animals, so easy to begin and yet impossible to end. For she, the mother of all men, did counsel me so wisely, then I feared to walk alone again and asked if she would stay. Oh, lady, lend your hand, I cried. Oh, let me rest here at your side. Have faith and trust in me, she said, and filled my heart with life. There is no strength in numbers, have no such misconception. But when you meet me, be assured I won't be far away. Thus having spoke, she turned away, and though I found no words to say, I stood and watched until I saw her black cloak disappear. My labor is no easier, but now I know I'm not alone. I find new heart each time I think upon that windy day. And if one day she comes to you, drink deeply from her words so wise, take courage from her as your prize, and say hello for me.
Okay, on today's show I have Bernie Shaw. He's a member of the English rock band Uriah Heep. Good morning, Bernie. How are you doing?
Morning.
How's things with you?
I'm a little bit jet lagged, I got to tell you. I've just come in late last night from a very delayed flight from Vancouver, Canada.
Oh dear.
If I nod off or start talking gibberish, just let me know.
No, that's my job on the show, to talk gibberish. So is Canada your? Because obviously you're not English, are you?
No, I was Canadian. Born
You
in
are
Canada,
Canadian.
but moved over to the UK back in 1978 and joined Uriah Heep in 1987.
Yeah, because you were with a couple of bands before that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was with Praying Mantis prior to getting involved with Mick Box, and back in the late 70s, 79 and 80, with the band Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Funny enough, had the same keyboard player, Phil Lanson, who I play with now.
Yeah, because Mick's
He's
been
kind of haunting me my whole career.
people, I have that. People follow me around all over the place. It's always worry the people are stalking you. It's
yeah, really.
Yeah, it's not good. But Uriah Heep have been around for quite a few years, haven't they?
Well, we started back in 1970.
Yeah, with Mick. I mean, Mick's been with them since the beginning.
Mick started the band with his best mate David Byron, and kind of gone from strength to strength. Gone through a few personnel changes, as any band does with that sort of longevity. Mm-hmm. But still going strong.
Yeah, because
still, love what we do. Still making good records and touring 57 countries all over the world. Still living out of a suitcase at 57 years old. Oh my! Who would have thought?
How old again?
No,
37. Did you say?
67 this year, and I'm 57. He's
Okay.
10 years
Oh.
me.
You're not that much older than me, I'll be perfectly honest with you. So I don't live out of a suitcase, which I'm very pleased. I mean, that must be one of the drawbacks of, shall we say, touring and performing around the UK and around the world.
Well, it depends if you're married. It can be a blessing or a curse.
Are you married?
But I've been doing this job.
Yeah.
I've been singing for, my supper, so to speak, ever since I was 17.
Really? And
So, a different band. I've been with Uriah Heep 26 years now. It's definitely
amazing.
my home. And, we're still playing from 80 to 100 concerts a year. So I think if you got in hold of the Guinness Book of Records, if we're not up there with Status Quo, we've got to be a little bit in front. I know that they're one of the hardest working bands in the UK, but we do just the same amount of shows. But as I say, we go all over the world doing them.
is there apart from Canada, obviously your home land, is there a favourite place you like to visit?
I like to visit it because it's the west coast of Canada is very rugged, all the way from Oregon through British Columbia up into the Arctic and the Yukon. It's a very rugged, beautiful place to be. It's a rainforest, so it gets wet. But 7 days ago, I was out on the Pacific Ocean with my friend salmon fishing, and you can't really do that in too many places in the world.
Wow.
In the middle of January,
Yeah, I mean, it's I must admit, Canada is on my bucket list. I've yet to make it there. Keep promising myself I would go. I was thinking about going on the East Coast, but we won't talk too much about Canada. Is there another place in the world you really enjoy going?
Well, they're all different. They all have their little idiosyncrasies and their enjoyment factors or fear factors. one of them being Russia. We spend a lot of time in Russia.
Really?
We were the first Western rock band to play there back in 1987, which kind of opened the floodgates. And I've spent many tours on the Trans-Siberian Railway going from Moscow to Vladivostok. So Russia is always interesting. It's quite a jewel. The people there are beautiful. The vodka's way too strong. And I'll be going there for the month of April again.
Oh, will you? Okay. So Russia, better watch out for the month of April. I don't know if I have any listeners in Russia. I know I have listeners in North America and Canada as well, so which is quite good. You're touring this year in the UK. You're doing 5 dates, starting with the Stables in Milton Keynes, which is in our area. I mean, it's a lovely venue, very intimate venue.
Yeah, we played it twice before.
Yeah.
And, everybody who's a musician of any stature will know Cleo Lane. She's one of the best jazz singers that the world's ever produced. So to play basically in her stables.
In her back garden.
She kept her horses, and she's
It is wonderful.
And it's neat. It's a little opposite of what we usually play is because as you know, the audience are seated in seats going up from the stage rather than on an equal setting, like saying down from the stage. So it is very upfront and personal. I think we're probably one of the loudest acts that goes in there.
Yes, I live about 15 miles away. I can normally hear you when you play that. I'm joking. But then you're doing a few other dates, but then you're culminating in a show called Giants of Rock down in Minehead. That must be that. I guess that's Butlins, is it?
I think it is the old Butlins camp. Yeah.
That's going to be an amazing an event, I think.
Well, we've played a few of these holiday camps that have rock concerts. During the closed season. And they're always a lot of fun because they're all in-house. You get people from all over the UK, combining forces and going in and just having one hell of a weekend. It's going to be fun. They always are.
Yeah, I think so. You're going to, rumours are, you're going to be recording a new live album this year.
We should be starting any week now.
Yeah, you won't be recording...
That's one of the reasons why we're doing these live shows. We're going to be off the road for January and February in the studio. But just to keep ourselves, on track and keep our crew that don't do much work while we're recording, to keep them happy and some shekels in the pocket, so to speak, we're going to go out and do some just kind of backyard shows. Okay,
so it's not a live album, because I was told it was going to be a live album.
No, so it's a studio album.
It's a studio album, of
course, yeah.
Your gentleman told me it was a live album. So, anyhow, that's another thing. Is there any... I mean, over your illustrious career, you've played, obviously, all over the world. Is there anywhere you'd love to play you've never played?
China.
I mean, have you been to Japan?
We've been to Japan. Just, I think it was 3 years ago now is our coming up for now. We've been there a good few times over our career. Early Uriah Heep has played the Budokan, which is probably the most famous theater in Tokyo. I like playing there because it is definitely a culture shock. Yeah. You can keep the traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic is horrendous.
So I've been told.
To leave a hotel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for a show not till 9 p.m. Just goes to show that there's way too many cars in that city. But it's a fantastic feeling. It's absolutely electric.
I've heard a lot of bands tell me that Japan is the place to play. They love it, and some of them do 2 shows a night. Is there a reason you'd like to play in China?
It's one of the places that we've always been eluded from. It was Russia in the early days, but we managed to crack that nut back in '87, and we went as well to Czechoslovakia at the time and Hungary, so we did a whole Eastern Europe thing. And I've played across Russia so close to Chinese border, I can see it basically across a river.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have, a tick on the board for as many countries as you can. We've got 57 ticks on that board.
Whoa.
But China, personally, is one that we've been invited, and it was canceled at the last minute due to political stuff, as it usually is.
Yeah.
But it's still up there.
So have you've got a big following, I assume, in China? I mean, there's a huge population, so if 1% of them like you, you're in luck, aren't you?
All we need is one political guy to open the door.
Yeah, it'd be fabulous, wouldn't it? So,
it's a personal favourite. I've always wanted to play at an after-show party for the Formula One.
Oh, have you? Well, they're
always wanted to. I mean, bands, Deep Purple has done it, Aerosmith's done it.
Yeah.
I hear they have quite a party after the main
I bet they do. Well, let's hope somebody from Red Bull or somebody like that who are based in Milton Keynes are listening.
Their factory.
And if they'd like to contact me, I can get in touch with Bernie, and we can do the deal for the Formula.
Bernie, I've met him only down Kings Road a few years ago. I was sitting there having a cappuccino, and he walked past with one of his daughters.
Oh, did he really?
And he just kind of looked at me, and we had a nod. And I got no idea why. Did he sense we were Bernies together? I got no idea, but I should have stopped him and said, "Hey,
I want to play
Eddie Irvine. He was a bit of a rock and roller.
I want to play at your show."
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
Hi, my name's Danielle, And every Monday at 6, I'll be kickstarting your week with the latest local news and events from Milton Keynes. I'll have live guests and feature the people's news. So kickstart your week with me every Monday at 6 p.m. on seclosounds.org.
I fell in love with a gypsy queen. She told me, hold on. Father was the leading man, said you're not welcome on our land. And then as a foe, he told me to go. To a little shack and put a whip across my back, then told her, leave me. I was out for quite a time, came back with her on my mind. Sweet little girl, she means all the world. Still be torn between her father and lover. One day I will go to him, strong enough to fight and win. The kind of a man that he'll understand.
This is Seclo Sounds, your community radio station. If you'd like to volunteer some of your time and skills with Seclo Sounds, send an email to volunteers@seclosounds.org and let us know how you would like to be involved.
We've just had a call from JVB and they're after a new logo.
OK, let's call our logo agency.
Oh, and Jones & Sons need a new brochure.
Right, I'll get on to our brochure agency.
And they'll need some custom illustrations.
Right, I'll call that illustrator.
And bespoke photography.
OK. And I'll call our photographer.
Tired of having to find a million different people to cover all your creative needs? With over 20 years of experience in a wide variety of media, Grant Kempster can take care of everything, including commercial and corporate designs, illustration and photography.
And finally, we need some leaflets and ads doing for John Smith Associates.
No problem. I'll give Grant Kempster a call.
For more information, visit grantkempster.com.
So this is especially for our American friends. We like to start with something called Sleazy Livin. Easy Livin'! This is a place I never seen before.
There we are, that was a 2 in a row from Uriah Heep. First we heard Gipsy, and then we had the live version of Easy Livin'. Let's rejoin Bernie Shaw. Is there anybody you'd love to play with on stage you've never played with?
Just for fun?
Well, anybody, yeah.
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar, you'd love to have him on with you.
Well, I think he's one of the best, if not the best, rock vocalists in the world. Always been a fan of his ever since I started singing back in 1974, 73, and he was with Montrose. I saw him live back then. I followed his career. I've got all his albums. He's got a few years on me, and he's got a voice that just doesn't stop, and I like to drink his tequila as well.
Jolly good.
So, Sammy, if you're hearing this, get in touch.
Get in touch. Contact me, and I'll contact Bernie Shaw for you.
That would be so cool.
Be great, wouldn't it?
And the other guy would be Tommy Shaw from Styx.
Oh, yes. I love them.
We share a name, we share a passion, we share a similar vocation. I'd love to do some stuff with him.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me how to spell the magazine and the radio show name, and they always... So a lot of them try and put the Y and the X in because they remember the band, and I say no, it's the easy way of doing it. The ordinary Styx, how living in the Styx, and that's how I always do it. But yeah, they were a fabulous band. So would you say that Sammy Hagar was your musical hero, or have you got somebody else as well, like who you would say was your musical hero when you were growing up as well?
Growing up with probably Burton Cummings from the Guess Who.
Okay.
I used to, put him pretty high on the pedestal. Beautiful melodic voice. I listened to bands back then that had melody and substance.
Mm-hmm.
I was never into punk or heavy metal very much. I was more on the melodic or even touching prog once in a while.
Okay, that's good. What would you say the highlight of your career, both either before or with Uriah Heep, has been?
Boy, there's been a lot, to tell you the truth.
Well, we've got an hour. We've got an hour long show, so no huge rush for
I'll
it.
keep it short. Being the first rock band to ever play in Russia back in '87.
That must have been.
To be invited all the way over there with all the bands in the world. They invited us with the formation of Glasnost
and the wall coming down, of course,
and all the freedom finally coming to that country to play 10 sold-out concerts at the Olympic Stadium.
Wow!
Played to over 185,000 people in 10 days. That was absolutely mind-boggling.
I mean, that amount of people is just wow. I have had the pleasure of going to Nebworth a couple of times.
Really? Okay.
I'm not that far from there, and like 200,000 people in there. It's great until you need to go to to the bathroom, trying to find a toilet and trying to find your way back. It becomes a little bit of a nightmare. So my festival days, I think, are gone. So that's it. We've talked about the highlights of your career. Has there ever been any low points when you think, I've had enough of this music, I've had enough of this touring, I've had enough of this recording, I want out of here, or
never to the point of that. There's been some low points in the career. Sometimes you go to a country and they sign all the paperwork to say, yes, we've got all your requirements, and you go there and you find that the lighting isn't right and the staging isn't right and the PA system isn't right, and you get a little bit down in the dumps because we try to put the most professional show that you can on. And when the organizers all they're looking is at dollars and cents or pounds and pence, and you go, we might do a show if it's humanly possible. It's all down to crew to make miracles. But that's always the hardest, when the promoters don't give you the tools you need to put a proper show on.
Being an artist, I'm not a singer, as a lot of people know who listen to the show regularly. I'm no singer, and I'm certainly not a musician. But I know, I've been to shows, and I always feel, if the bands never hold back. That doesn't matter wherever you go, the artists themselves never hold back.
Well, never.
And I find that's always good.
If you're in a rock band of a certain caliber, you're in a very enviable position. You're doing something that you love, and you can actually pay your rent with the money. It's a nice place to be, and we try not to abuse that. So we try to put on the best show you can. If it's in front of 200, 2,000, or 20,000.
Yeah.
You get the same show because we love what we do. That's
Yeah.
why we do it.
I think that most artists and most bands, and I go to a lot of bands, I go to see a lot of bands, go to see a lot of singers, I go to see a lot of theatre, and I'm very rarely disappointed. I may be disappointed sometimes I go to the theatre with the script, but not normally with the acting.
Well, that's good.
And
most
which
bands,
is great.
I would probably say 98% of the bands do it because they love
it. Yeah. I mean, especially when you get to a certain age. I mean, you're not quite as old as some of the guys I've interviewed. Some of them have been in their 70s. They've been doing it for like 50 years, and they still love it. They go out on stage. They don't need the money, but they go out on stage for the passion. And I think that is so good. That is so good. I think that comes across.
Money is not a reason to get into the music business.
No. I know
there's a lot of better paying jobs out there.
Yeah, Premiership football.
For satisfaction, I don't think you can beat walking on stage in front of thousands of people that are clapping and having a visibly good time at what you do.
That must give you a hell of a rush.
It does. It does, and it always has. And I think it's important that it always should do.
Mm. Have you any unfulfilled ambitions? Have you, when you were a young lad, you perhaps you thought you'd love to be a rock star or sing in a band? Have you, when you've been playing and with the different groups and with especially with Uriah Heep, have you sort of any ambitions and think I'd love to have done that? Or apart from this China trip, is there any sort of thing you'd wish you'd done?
I don't know. I'd still like to have a few more, gold albums on the wall.
Yeah.
Recognition for sales, but it's such a different industry right now. Now the album sales aren't as important as they used to be. It seems to be all focusing now on live work and how you can do the live concerts. Otherwise, I'm pretty contented. I'm with a fantastic band. I've had the opportunity to play in front of a lot of people over many, many years in many, many countries. I've got a family, and they can come out once in a while and see the band at work. Pretty happy place to be.
That's good. How many
after last year's loss of Trevor Boulder, it was such a shock. It brings reality a little bit close. Cancer is a very, very scary thing, and it comes in so many guises, and it can be slow growing that you don't know, or it can just grab you by the throat at any time of your life. So to be aware of that, right now, health is everything. Health,
that's right.
Happiness, and family.
Okay. How many gold records have you got?
I've got a couple of platinums and one silver. I've got three or four.
Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, that's not shabby at all, is it?
Walk through Mick Box's kitchen. He's got about 70 albums because I put them all up for him.
Really? So he hasn't got no wallpaper or anything in the kitchens or tiles. He's just got gold records.
He's got records. It's about 7 feet deep by about 18 feet, and it's just like a solid wall of gold, platinum, silver from all over the world from the early 70s.
Now, that's a kitchen I'd love to be in, I'll tell you. That is an amazing...
It does look cool, and, he's proud of his past, and I think he's even more excited about the future.
Well, you never know. This new album of yours, maybe another gold, platinum, you never know, do you, nowadays?
No, it's all down to the record companies now. Yeah. It's all down to men in suits. It's not really down to the fans. It's so political and a little bit corrupt, as we all know still.
Well, the music
as long as the bands
never.
still put out good product, I don't really care, as long as the fans have the chance of buying it.
You've had quite a collection of hit singles: "Lady in Black," "Gypsy," "Easy Living," and "Look at Yourself."
Look at yourself, exactly.
Yeah, it's quite a. As I sort of looked, before I was talking to you, so I looked up your sort of musical, sort of back catalogue, etc. It's quite amazing,
It's pretty impressive when you look at a 40-year span, isn't it?
And I mean, you've been quoted the 5-part harmonies an influence of Queen.
Yes, it was. That was actually a quote from, was it either Brian or Freddie back in the early days?
Really?
They openly said that the Uriah Heep was one of their major influences on their harmony process.
Well, yeah, that's great. I mean, they didn't do too badly for themselves over the years, did they?
Not too bad at all, really.
Have you
did a show last summer with Brian, and he came into our dressing room, and he was just, oh boy, he's a big Uriah Heep fan still. He's a lovely human being.
I'd love to get him on the show, so if you see him again, You give me my details, and we see. I'd love to get him on the show. Love to get him on the show. So what would you say is your favourite song? Either both Uriah Heep and perhaps somebody else.
Boy.
Oh, no, I go for it.
Difficult question. I'm a Gemini, so I'm a man of many sides and many facets. Okay. And what really turns my crank today might not really interest me tomorrow. One of my favorite songs of all time to sing as Uriah Heep was off of Wake the Sleeper, and it was called What Kind of God?
Okay. Is there a reason...
Power ballads are my thing. I really love a slow song that has a message. And Uriah Heep has got many of them, like to the likes of July Morning, beautiful song. The Wizard, beautiful song. There's a lot of them. The good thing about Heap's back catalog is they're very, very lucky to have a lot of songs that still stand the test of time.
Well, I think that's the other thing. You've got... I mean, you go see some of these bands that have just sort of hit the big time, you know, either on a reality TV show or, had a couple of hits. And you go and see them, and they've got about 5 songs. You go and see somebody like yourself, who's got a great musical heritage from sort of 20 plus years.
Yeah.
You go there and you think, I remember that one. I remember that one. I remember that one.
It's now 40.
Well, 40 years. Yeah. I mean, that's nearly as long as I've been around. That is,
I don't believe that we've been together this long and still having fun and still creating good music.
MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
Nobody's coming.
Hello, I'm Jim Cleland, and every Tuesday between 9am and 12pm on Secular Sounds Radio, you can hear all things MK. We have local news, sport, weather, traffic and travel, and lots of music. I'll be talking to local people about fitness, health, what's going on in Milton Keynes, our diverse community, local businesses, and much more. Join me, Jim Cleland, for all things MK every Tuesday between 9am and 12pm on Secular Sounds Radio.
Go away from Uriah Heep and we'll sort of talk about, should we say, perhaps some fun questions, and then I'll let you go. We're, the weekend, Friday night. If you're not touring, what do you like to do?
Oh boy,
That
it might sound
you
boring,
can tell everybody
but if
about.
I'm not touring, I like to sit in with my wife and a nice bottle of wine and put on a DVD and just chill.
I don't blame you at all. And if you're not touring for the whole weekend...
It's cold outside, but it's nice. I like to grab that bottle of wine and my wife and go out and sit into the hot tub. Just watch
hot tub?
stars go by.
That sounds... I mean, that doesn't sound boring. That sounds great, actually. I'm liking the sound of that at the moment, actually. If you sort of have the whole weekend off, which I guess you don't have too many when you have the whole weekend off...
Boy, not too many of those.
What do you like to do then?
If we have the whole weekend, it's nice to pack the kids away in the car and drive around and explore a bit around the UK. Or it doesn't have to be too local, but go somewhere as a family, because living out of a suitcase, I spend more time with the bandmates than I do with my wife and kids. And I've got a little girl and a little boy, and they need to have their daddy sometime.
That's quite. There's nothing wrong in that. You said you like to watch DVDs. What sort of DVDs do you like watching?
I'm pretty open on that. Being a guy, I do like lots of sci-fi stuff.
Me too. I'm a
drama, be it, old classic stuff with Al Pacino, or even Humphrey Bogart stuff, or something nice and new and current.
Okay, have you seen anything sort of you can recommend recently to everybody?
I don't know. I've been getting to American series at the moment.
Okay.
And there was one in particular that I downloaded called Breaking Bad.
I've not seen that. Everybody's on about that. I've not seen that.
It's won awards. It went in for 6 series, and it won awards just hands down. Compared to all these big multi-million-dollar series, it was just a small production, but holy cow, edge of the seat watching episode after episode.
All right, that's good. Obviously, when you're touring, you're into hotels. You eat a lot of sort of hotel food and bits and bobs like that. What sort of things do you like to eat? Have you got something that your favourite food?
I like a lot of fresh seafood.
I guess coming from Canada, I mean that's probably a lot more readily available than it is in England.
Yeah, but it's different. I've just now come back from 3 weeks in Canada, and we were out fishing, and I caught some fresh salmon. There's lobster, scallops, all sorts of fresh seafood right at your door.
Now you're making everybody jealous now.
Yeah, I used to be a chef before I got into music.
Me too, as well. So we have
still one of my passions. So we had a good few dinners over the holidays.
Okay, so if you invited me around for dinner, and that's not a thing, what would you cook me then? What would you if you say you like to cook? I love to cook. What would you?
My wife does a dynamite teriyaki marinade. So we like to do fresh salmon teriyaki.
Yeah.
Potatoes out of our own garden and some good fresh vegetables,
There's nothing wrong in that.
Well, you've got to have when you're doing what we do at our age, you need to have a pretty healthy lifestyle, the sex and the drugs and the rock and roll. The sex is now with the family, the drugs are usually hangover cures, but the rock and roll still remains the same.
Or painkillers, yeah.
You got it. Excedrin.
The hangovers seem to get worse as you get older. I don't know if it's just me or what, but over Christmas it was, yes. Do you, when you're on the road, obviously you don't get a lot of time for hobbies. Is there anything you do to sort of relax? Do you listen to music, or do you read, or anything like that?
Reading on the tour bus always kills the time.
Have you got one of those electronic devices, or?
No, I'm still one of these paperback guys.
Okay, what sort of books do you read? Have you got a favourite author, or?
Not so much authors. I like Dan Brown.
Okay.
I've got his whole collection of stuff. But I like to read biographies of different musicians. The last one being Rod Stewart.
Oh, yes.
Before that was, which was a fantastic read, was Steven Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Does the noise
Aerosmith,
in
yes.
my head bother you? Which is a fantastic title. And Cliff Richards, the whole nine yards. I like to hear Sammy Hagar's autobiography. I like to know what's in the head of other musicians and how they went through this crazy scheme and crazy job as well.
Interestingly, do they think much the same as you, or is there a big gap? Do you think?
What between
you were saying you read, was it Cliff Richards you read recently, Rod's?
There seems to be so many similarities.
I guess
almost uncanny.
I would guess there probably is. I mean,
there's a certain route in life that musicians travel, and you can't help but fall into that category. There's some of the bad things and naughty things that go on. You can kind of take control of, where the other guys you go, oh, glad I didn't go that route. But I mean, the fact that we're all still here to tell the tale is.
I think the Rolling Stones is quite surprising they're still around, but at their age as well, at what 80s, aren't they? 70s or late 70s, early 80s, some of them.
Yeah, indeed.
Middle 70s certainly,
and blues artists in America that are well into their 80s.
Yeah,
and jazz.
Is B.B. King still alive?
And they're still out there. They're still playing.
Is B.B. King still alive? I believe he is.
Who?
B.B. King, the blues player.
Oh yeah, he's still out there.
I mean, he's got to be what, 80?
Got to be.
I saw him.
We play his club when we go to New York.
Do you really? Oh,
yeah.
Is he there when you go?
He's never been there. He comes down every once in a while just to make sure that everything's okay, and on some special events. It's a really neat club right in the middle of New York City.
Is it? Do you know, New York is one of those places I've never been. My wife keeps wanting to go there, but I'm always worried about my pocket and her shopping habits.
I don't know. you got to take everything,
Yeah, I had the great pleasure seeing
once in a while and say, okay, take the risk.
Oh, yeah, don't. She can spend. I had the great pleasure seeing B.B. King about probably nearly 30 years ago, and he was, should we say, of an age then, so he was great, absolutely fabulous. Now, I will let you go now.
Okay, thank you
very much for your time. Hope you get over the jet lag, and I'll just quickly run through where people can see you. There's this, on the 4th of February, they can see you at the Stables in Milton Keynes. That's Uriah Heep at the Stables. And then, if they fancy going to Minehead, I know it's a little way out, but I'm sure that's going to be a great
That'll
weekend.
be a great rock and roll weekend, that's right.
And that's on the 9th of February, or you're playing on the 9th of February at Minehead at the Giants of Rock. Thank you very much for your time today.
Okie dokie, mate. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Bernie.
Okay, cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
This is the last song of the thing that we got for you tonight, and like you to clap your hand, anything you want to do, because this is the last one you got. And it's all about a cowboy who does a lady a dishonor. Must have been a Texan. Must have been a Texan. And this is a song about him trying to ride away from the terrible thing he's done. Called Stealin. Take me across the water, 'cause I need some place to hide. I done the rancher's daughter, and I sure did hurt his pride. Ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh. But there's 100 miles of desert lies between his high and mine. I don't need no food or water, 'cause I'm running out of time, yeah. We'll fight and kill him losing crying, nothing left to say, but my
For the best travel locations around the globe, book your seat for the John Gwynn Travel Show on Seclo Sounds every Monday at 12 noon. Hear the latest advice and recommendations to help you achieve maximum enjoyment and value from your trip, no matter where you want to go or what you want to do. Also, check out John's travel report as he reveals the things that the travel industry could do better. The John Gwynn Travel Show, Mondays at 12 noon on Seclo Sounds. Check it out before you check in.
Well, I'd forgotten how good those songs sound. We heard first Stealin live, and also then we heard just now Bird of Prey. I'm very excited. This week I'm off to see a show I've been wanting to see for ages. I'm off to see Wicked when it touches down in Milton Keynes. It's on at the Milton Keynes Theatre from now until the 8th of March, so it's on there for a long time. I know the tickets are selling really fast. I had trouble getting mine. Really looking forward to going there this week. I'd like to thank my guest today, Bernie Shaw from Uriah Heep. Next week on the show I'll have a gentleman called Mike Hall who plays in a band called Classic Clapton. In fact, he portrays Eric Clapton. He's the #1 Eric Clapton tribute artist. I'll be talking to him. We'll be playing some tracks played by him. So a must for all Clapton fans. Now, I've been Terry Sullivan. This has been the Sticks Radio Show. Until next week, it's bye for now.
For the best travel locations around the globe, book your seat for the John Gwynn Travel Show on Secklow Sounds every Monday at 12 noon. Hear the latest advice and recommendations to help you achieve maximum enjoyment and value from your trip, no matter where you want to go or what you want to do. Also, check out John's travel report as he reveals the things that the travel industry could do better. The John Gwynn Travel Show, Mondays at 12 noon on Secklow Sounds. Check it out before you check in. Secklow Sounds, bringing people and communities together.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Secklow Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Secklow Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.